Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another tier list. I know I'm doing a lot of these at the moment and I think they're great fun. You guys have been absolutely awesome with the support as well. I appreciate all of you for being here. And no, the support on the other tier list I did the other day was awesome, so I figured why not do another one. I have a few more planned. Maybe not Garden Warfare 2, could be another Plants vs Zombies game, might be something not Plants vs Zombies, so let me know. So yeah, today I'm going to be ranking the characters in terms of if they're broken or if they're almost unplayable. So this is going to be my own opinion of how broken I think the character is, and I hope you guys go ahead and enjoy it. If you guys want to see more, make sure you drop a like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are super close to 1,100 subscribers. Share the channel with your friends, share the channel with your family, and of course, turn the notification bell on so you never miss a live stream. So, yeah, we did a tier list the other day, a character tier list. It's going to be a little bit different on this one. I'm not really going to base it off of like my own opinion. I'm going to try and base it off of everybody's and try and see if I can make a good tier list. Like these ads are really annoying. So as you can see here, we've got different categories. F, which is almost unplayable. We've got a D is bad, C is okay, B is decent, A is average, S is incredible, and SS is broken. So obviously we've got a bunch of characters here to get through, and I feel like we should just get straight into this. So first of all, Reg Citron, he's okay. Alright. Now hear me out. I think there's a lot more better or a lot more broken Citrons out there. We'll talk about those when we get to them. But personally, in terms, why do people message me when I'm recording? In terms of actual, how OP this character is, how much damage he does, or whatever, I think he's okay. Um, I could include abilities in this tier list, but I think that might make it a little bit unbalanced. So I'm going to try not to talk about the tier list with the abilities as much as I can. So in terms of Reg Citron, I think he's okay. He's never been a complete threat to me, to be honest with you. Um, get rid of these ads. But yeah, it wasn't. He's never been scary. I don't think he's incredibly OP. I don't think he's terrible. He's okay. So Frost Rose, I'll be average. She's average. She's not completely broken. I think there is still some room for improvement for her, but in terms of when I played this character, Frost Rose was it was good. Bear in mind, I do think there's one or two things wrong with her. I didn't like how long it took to charge up some of the bullets sometimes. Um, Maybe freeze the enemy was a little bit too slow sometimes as well, but as a whole, this character, Frost Rose, I think is pretty decent. It's average, and she knows her way around the block. So, in terms of, we'll call it in terms of broken. I don't think she's SS tier or S. I think she's up there, but she's not terrible. I'm gonna put Party Rose in D. Um, I just don't like Party Rose. It's not for me, even with the homing upgrade. It just doesn't work for me. The damage just doesn't work. It's just not good. It's just not good for me. Like I said, this is purely going to be my opinion on my experience using all of these characters and how I remember how they feel and how good they are. So, obviously, if you guys have any debates or let me know your own thoughts and ideas in the comment section, I always love reading the comments on these videos because you guys let's just say one or two of you are happy with my decision last time in the other tier list, but a few of you weren't incredibly happy. So, uh, Necros. In terms of jinxing, I think she's incredible. I think she's better than Frost Rose in terms of broken. Like I said, I've got to view this from like all different angles, so it's not necessarily just you playing the character. This character is very good at also helping the teammates as well. So in terms of that side of broken, I think she's pretty good. You can obviously jinx the enemies. and stuff like that. Again, the charge up takes a little bit long for my liking, so I don't think she's completely broken. But yeah, I think Necros is better than Frost Rose in terms of how broken she is. The damage is just ridiculous when you get jinxed. Even without jinx, it's not terrible. But as soon as you jinx, I don't know, a Super Brains, an All Star, a Mech, it's ridiculous, man. Honestly, I can't even tell you how many times I took out a Mech within like a split second with P Gatling, Party Corn, whatever, with it being jinxed. It's just stupidly good. And I think so far she's probably the best Rose. In terms of corn, here we go. We've got all the different corns here. Red corn, I reckon he's decent. Red corn's alright. He's not the worst Reg character in the game, in my opinion. But he's not the most OP. He's good. He's alright. He's in the middle. He's just an all-round character for me. He always was. He's not terrible. He's not unplayable. He's not broken. Um, but it's a nice little starting character, I think, for a lot of newcomers to the game, a lot of new people. Um, Obviously, if you played Garden Warfare 1, like I did, and then you came over to Garden Warfare 2 and you saw this guy and you played him for the first time, he felt really good. And I still stick by that. I think for a starting character, I think quite possibly one of the better ones in the game, in my opinion. Especially if you, I don't know, you could never have played Garden Warfare in your life. Um, this character is a nice little pickup from the get go and from the start. So I think Colonel Corn for me, Reg Corn is decent. I think he's alright. He's not terrible, but he's not OP either. Barbecue Corn. Oh my god. See, the thing is with this character, do I base it off of what it was or what it is now? Because if it is basing off of what it was, probably incredible. But if I'm basing it off of now, I'm gonna put it in bad. I A few of you might be surprised about that. I don't mind barbecue corn, but in terms of OP, he just doesn't hit nowhere near as much damage um, as he used to. If you've obviously played Garden Warfare 2 when it came out, this character was, like I said the other day, in the other tier list, this character is just crazy, man. The fire damage, the rate of fire, the rate of fire, no pun intended. Um, Literally just all added up, and you would be dropping people left, right, and center. Um, I don't know, man. He got, like I said, two nerfs, two debuffs. Basically, he got downgraded terribly for no reason by the developers, and then ever since then he was never quite the same. So, as much as I would love to put him higher, I've got to be realistic, and I think he's bad. He's probably the worst corn in my opinion. Which is kind of sucks to say because I played this character when Garden Warfare 2 came out and it was a lot of fun. So, to see him ball so hard so quickly and not really have any attention since then, or a lot of attention for that matter, it is a bit painful. I'm not gonna lie. Mob Cobb. Do I don't think he's better than Colonel Corn. I don't think he's worse than Barbecue Corn. I think he's in the middle. He's okay. Um, as much as I love this character, it's really accurate with his shooting. The damage is nice. I don't think he's better than Red Corn. I don't think he's any worse or on the same level as Barbecue. I think he's in the middle of these two. Sometimes he kicks ass, sometimes he doesn't. But yeah, I think Mob Cob's a weird one because again, like I said the other day, the gimmick is a bit weird. But obviously, we're not talking about that today. We're talking about the actual gameplay of the character itself. Because if I wanted to talk about abilities, I could put all these three up here because of Huskop and Shuckshot, but I'm not. So I think that's fair. I think we're not going to talk about abilities in this tier list because it just would be stupid. Everybody would be A or above. So in terms of actual character, I think he's in between. He's below Regcorn, but he's above Barbecue. And I think it's the same with Popscorn. Popscorn's a weird one for me. I've tried him several times, and believe it or not, as much as this guy's a 3 round burst, he's not as powerful as I thought it would be. Obviously, me being a big fan of Super Commando in Garden Warfare 1 and Garden Warfare 2, and I'm not gonna lie, I like Sun Pharaoh as well. Sun Pharaoh, the Sunflower, she's not bad either. But when I saw this guy, I was like, ooh, a 3 round burst corn. I'm listening. I used him a few times. Don't get me wrong, he's alright. The long range is a bit of a weird one for me. You would think because it's long range, you would be like more accurate, but in my opinion, I don't think that's the case. For like the closer you are, the better. I don't know if that's weird, but let me know what you guys think about Popscorn. I think he's probably on the same level as Mob Cobb for me. Party Corn, I think he's broken. I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. This guy is stupid. He's basically Reg Corn just gone to Ibiza, had a load of tequila shots, came back with a face paint, and just goes ham. That's literally what he is. He's an upgraded, massively upgraded version of Reg Corn, in my opinion. Um, Obviously, with legendary mode, it's just even more broken. But in terms of actual damage, normally, and how quick he can drop enemies, it's very, very impressive. So, no, I think he is broken on most parts. There's one or two things that obviously you will get killed by, but in terms of like character standalone point by himself, I think he is probably the most broken corn. Now, this brings me on to my favourite corn, but I have to be honest here. I'm gonna put him incredible. Now, I know. Guys, calm down, calm down, calm down. Relax, relax. Time out, time out. I know. Okay. I would love to put him in broken, but he's not quite there for me. He's fantastic most of the time, but the reason why I put Commando Corn lower than Party Corn is simply because of two things. Party Corn is fantastic at most situations. Now, Commando Corn is as well, but his damage is very inconsistent. You can hit 30s and then a 6, then 12, 32, 11, whatever. And as well as that is also the splash damage. Now, if the splash damage was a little bit better, can people stop messaging me? Seriously. Um, if the splash damage on Commander Corn was a bit better, I maybe put him low SS here. But I have to be realistic. In terms of actual damage, he's okay. He's incredible, in my opinion. He does hit solid, but you need to be accurate. And if you're not hitting those shots, I reckon maybe average or potentially decent. But because I'm relatively good with this character, I know my way how to use him decently. I think he's incredible. He's not quite broken for me. Um, Maybe when it first came out, but I obviously didn't have him, or I didn't even play the game when this guy first came out. So yeah, I've got to be honest. As much as I love this guy, his splash damage lets me, and his damage inconsistency lets him down a little bit. So I'm gonna put him in S tier with next rows. Okay, so Pea Shooter. I'll be honest, yeah. Reg Pea Shooter in Garden Warfare 1 was good. But I'm gonna put him in okay. He's not terrible. He's not the best pea shooter, obviously, by quite a margin. Um, I don't know, man. It's just not for me. I prefer pretty much nearly. Notice how I said nearly every other pea shooter. Um, but you know, he's in my opinion on the plant side, default character wise, I think Commando, not Commando Corn, Colonel Corn is still probably the better default character you get from the start. But pea shooter is not a bad pickup. You know, pea shooter is pea shooter, beam bomb, all that good stuff. But we're not talking about abilities. We're talking about the actual character itself, and it's not terrible. It's okay. It's there. It'll do you a kill or two, so it's all right. Frozen Citron. Now, I'm. So you think, in my opinion, I'm not gonna put. I'm just putting him there for a second. I'll move him in a minute, but I'm trying to think where to put this guy because he's good at freezing. Now, that can come into play, obviously, with the whole broken thing. Is it terribly broken? I don't think it is. It's very weird for me when it comes to ice characters. I don't think that ice in this game is as bad as I thought it would be. But whenever I play the character itself, like, I don't know, Arctic Trooper, um, Ice Cactus, or Ice Citron or whatever, they just take a little bit too long to freeze. So it's a bit of a 50-50 for me. And even when I face Ice Citron, I don't get frozen that quick unless they use EMP, which they more than likely will. Let's be honest. But I'm gonna put him with Reg Citron, believe it or not. I don't think he's any higher than that. I want to know who I'm gonna put in almost unplayable. Now that I look at some of the characters, there might be one, maybe two characters that I might put in there, but we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, I think Ice Citron. I don't know, man. He's okay. Fire P. I think Fire P's decent. I think he's better than Reg P, but I don't think he's any higher than B tier. He's in the middle. He's okay. I haven't had loads of experience, but in terms of from what I've seen, a few people like to use him. A few people say he's decent. I played him once or twice, obviously. Um, to find out, it's basically Reg P shooter, but with extra damage because of the fire damage. So I think he's better than Reg P shooter. But I don't think he's anywhere higher above B tier. I think he's either B tier or below for me. So to mix things up, I think he's gonna go there. And believe it or not, I'm gonna do the complete opposite here and put ISP shooter in okay. I was gonna put it in bad there for a second, but I thought about it because I said obviously Ice Citron takes a while to freeze them and it's not terribly, you know, OP and stuff like that. So I think the same thing is for P shooter. Ice characters are interesting. Yeah, there's not much to say about Ice P in my opinion. I think it's the same thing as Ice Citron mainly. So Toxic P, I'd say he's decent. I think he's better than Fire P. I prefer to use Toxic than Fire. I'll be honest with you. As much as I don't play either of them often, if I had to choose out of Toxic P, Fire P, and Ice P, probably Toxic P, and then maybe second place is Fire P, and then third place is Ice P. So I think in terms of OP and how good this character is in terms of damage and stuff, he's decent. Toxic damage is a nice little bonus. If this was Garden Warfare 1, quite possibly in Broken. I know, it's crazy. Um, but yeah, because it's Garden Warfare 2 and not Garden Warfare 1, I think he's decent. He's not, he's in the middle, he's alright, he'll get the job done. He's not an immediate threat if you run into one, but he can be if they know how to use him properly. Commando P, I'm gonna put this guy. I tell you what, yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit harsh here. I'm gonna put him in okay. Now, the reason for that being, let's just put my phone here. The reason for that being is it's simple for me personally. Let me know what you guys think about Commando P. Do you reckon he's OP? Do you reckon he could be better? Let me know. But in terms of my own opinion, when I first heard of Commando P and I heard that he was automatic, I thought he was going to be like a walking pea Gatling. I think it was just going to be crazy. It was going to be bullets flying everywhere. But the characters, for me, it's very close range. I've tried him long range a few times. It's not the greatest in the world. So yeah, I think he's okay. Um, if you're constantly close range with him, then maybe C plus B minus somewhere in between B and C. But I don't think he's any higher than B to be honest. He's okay. He does damage. If you have good accuracy alongside, you know, how much he hits, um, then maybe B tier. But I think he sits nicely in C tier to be honest with you. Agent P, oh boy, I'm gonna put you in incredible. I like Agent P in this game. I really do. I think he's very nice to use. He's very accurate. The damage is lovely. I think he hits like what 28, 29 or above critical. And the very nice thing about him, besides Commando P, because obviously it's full automatic, I think he quite possibly has the quickest fire rate out of any P shooter. So if you team up Agent P's damage with how much like damage he does with how quick he can shoot, it definitely adds up. Believe me, I think this character is great fun. I would love to use him more. I've been playing him a little bit recently, um, but on a pick and play, I think it was. Yeah, I think I played him on a pick and play, but I think this character is great fun. I would say he's oh, not broken, but he's definitely a threat. He's very strong. Especially like I said, if you have the accuracy behind you and you know how to aim really well, this thing could easily be broken tier. So, um, as a decent player, I've got a Warfare 2 myself. I think he sits S or SS tier personally. If you have good accuracy, SS. If you don't, then S. I'm gonna say Lorpy is the same. Now, these two are great fun. I've seen loads of people use them. In the right hands, they're both easily there. But I can't just focus on one or two people like, I don't know, flipping Invisible Boy, Kazoo, Goose, or anybody like that. There's a lot of max ranks who play these two, and I personally, I'm not a big fan of Lore P. I'll be honest with you guys, but the amount of times I run up against a max rank, it doesn't even need to be a max rank. It could be a low level player. This character Lorpy is fantastic. If you have accuracy, again, the same a little bit more accuracy than you would with Aiden P. I feel like this guy is literally he's the quick revolver in the West. Like if you have good aim and just quick reaction time, the damage behind all of that can get this guy easily to broken. The amount of times I face this thing and I drop like a sack of potatoes, honestly. Plasma P, I'm gonna put broken. I'm not being biased here. I'll be honest with you. I obviously love my Plasma P, but I think it's broken. I think the critical damage up close-ish is probably about 60 to 70 something. It's stupid, and alongside that, you also can do major splash damage. People call this thing Splash P, so or splash shooter, Splash P, whatever you want to call it. This thing, I think, in terms of like normality, um, is great, but with the splash damage alongside it, it just makes it even better. So I think personally, you are broken, and I love it. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hate to do this again with Rock P. I really want to give this character a proper go one day. Like, properly sit down, maybe try and learn something with him. The amount of damage he does is so inconsistent for a P shooter, in my opinion. The splash damage is very minimum. So compared to Plasma P, it's just not there, bro. It's This guy has nothing going for him in terms of it. Apart from looks, this probably the best looking pea shooter we have on the game by quite a margin, in my opinion. But unfortunately, we're not talking about looks today. If you guys want to see me do a customization tier list, let me know. Like a default customization. What do I think of the default customization of the characters? Let me know if you want to see that tier list in the future. But in terms of characters. This guy's just so inconsistent for me. I've tried it a few times. I just can't get the hang of the damage. The splash damage doesn't help much. I'm not being funny, but even Commando Corn splash damage helps a little bit. So that is obviously saying something in my opinion. But I don't know, man. It's just never looking good for Rock P in my opinion. EP, I hate to do it, but you are stupid. I flipping hate this thing. I don't really need to talk about it. We all know why this thing's up there, if not S tier. It's either S or SS, depends where you want to put it. I know a lot of you would probably put it straight down here because of the meme and the banter, but you've got to be realistic. This thing is just stupidly OP. Like I said, either S tier incredible or broken SS tier, but in my opinion, it's broken. It just is in my eyes. It's stupid. It shouldn't exist. And I flipping hate it. The detonation, the chaining damage, everything, the default damage. It's just ridiculous. It's like Plasma P's long lost cousin in my eyes. I see a lot of people play these too. I'm happy about Plasma P, but this thing I never got along with it. But in terms of like actual character, it is ridiculously stupid. It's broken. It's just not allowed, in my opinion. It should be or should have been nerfed or something along the lines back in the day. But obviously nowadays that's not going to happen. So you little blueberry looking eye ass, sit yourself up in broken. Reg Chomper. Okay, I I'm gonna put him in decent. actually. Now, I haven't played Reg Chomper in a while, I'll be honest. But I remember not too long ago, I'll probably say just over a year, maybe just under a year, depends. This character isn't too bad. Obviously, we could talk about Burrow, etc. That's one shot, one kill pretty much every time. But in terms of like bite damage, that's what we're going to try and look at here. So, in terms of bite damage, I think this guy does what, 30? 30 something, maybe? I don't think it's any higher than that. But he's actually okay for a default character. Probably on the plant side, my third favorite default character. I've just seen one of them down here that I like the look of. But yeah, I think Reg Chomper's not too bad. The bite damage is nice. It's not the best in the world, but it will get you some nice little kills here and there. And for a default character, again, I think he's nice for some of the newcomers that come into the game. Electro Citron, I'm going to put you in bad, I'll be honest, bro. It's the same thing with these two, Barbecue Corn and Electro Citron. We all know the story of Balamori and Garden Warfare 2. What would you like to know? This guy would have been straight away up here back when this game came out. I wish I could do that right now, but I have to be realistic. It's just not there for me. It's just not there. No, not there. There you go. He does damage. Now, don't get me wrong. This guy can do damage, and if you know how to play this character like I do, then I would probably put him in decent. Um, you have to charge up the bullet. It can be a little bit of a stressful task to try and get used to. Obviously, aiming. He's literally single bullet. There's no beam like Ice Citron and Reg Citron in OK tier there. He's single bullet, but this damage is ridiculous. I think it does like what 65, 70, maybe higher. But if you're hitting that single bullet, it's not going to do much. So from a PvZ player standpoint, I'm going to try and look at it as like you're not a huge fan of holding it down, so he's probably bad all round. Now, I would obviously put it there, but in my opinion, he's bad. But if you know how to land the shots, then he's probably decent or okay. Not any higher than B tier, in my opinion. Fire Chomper. I think he's okay. He's not terrible, in my opinion. I think, believe it or not, I actually prefer Reg Chomper than I do to any of these. Well, the three spray chompers. I say these three are probably in the same tier. They're okay. They're not terrible. They're not OP. I prefer Reg Chomper, believe it or not. I know it sounds a bit crazy saying that, but no, I actually prefer Reg Chomper than I do to these three. So yeah, the same thing with all three of these. They're basically the same chompers, but just different elements and different things. Obviously, you could say the fire damage on this guy back in the day on Garden Warfare 1 was a bit too stupid. He could have been easily be averaged here. But because it's Garden Warfare 2, I think these three chompers sit quite nicely in C tier. So Hot Rod Chomper, I'll be honest, he's not as OP as I thought he would. Now, I don't have to do it by damage. I can also do it by movement, any special things maybe, but in terms of actual damage bite wise, I think he's the same as Reg Chomper, I believe it or not. I could obviously rate him off of his what am I doing? I could rate him off of his like speed boost, and I would probably put him in average. So I tell you what, purely because of his little ability when it activates, the little speed boost, I'm gonna put him in average tier. Bite wise, I would probably put him in decent. So it's between A and B for me. I'm gonna put him in B tier. So I think that's okay. Count Chompular, I think you're the same. He's not terribly OP with his bite. We've got some decent chompers coming up, so I think those three are decent. The bite damage isn't too bad. It's not as OP as the next chomper we're about to talk about, but yeah, they're good. They're decent. So Armatrompa, I'm gonna put you in incredible. This guy is stupid. Now, as much as a lot of you would agree with me on this. As much as he is stupidly slow because of all that metal armor he's got around his body, This guy is the most heavy hitting Chomper in my opinion. He hits like 50 damage. I think that's with the damage upgrade as well. He hits 50 damage with one bite. Now, the good thing about the bite on this character, now don't get me wrong, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure each of the chompers who bite, obviously not the spray chompers, but these three, Armatrompa, Disco, Unicorn, and Twilight, they all have the similar, you know, I'll say bite per second. You know how quick they bite. I think they're all the same, if not a little bit different. But this guy is not slow when he bites. Personally, I think he's fine the way he is. It does 50 damage per bite. I think it does like what 45 something if you don't have the damage upgrade. So I think without the damage upgrade, he's there, and with the damage upgrade, he's there as well. So I think either way, this character deserves an S tier. Incredible in terms of how broken he is with his bite. I one-shotted, two-shotted, maybe even three-shotted a lot of enemies in my time playing this character, so it's actually a lot of fun. Uh, as much as I love this character, I'm gonna put you in okay. I feel like you are better than these three, so I'm gonna put you there. But yeah, another spray chomper. See, these four are very similar in my opinion. I think they're not terrible, but there's other chompers I would rather play in terms of damage. Um, so I don't know. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe I should do it with I don't know abilities and stuff like that. But that would just make it far too easy. So I think damage wise, I think I'm doing okay so far. I could talk about like how OP the speed movement is on this character compared to Hot Rod, but I think that would just take far too long. So I feel like this tier list is just gonna be based off of like default damage, how quickly you can drop enemies with them, stuff like that. So I tell you what, I'm gonna put. I don't think you're the same as these, so I'm gonna put you in okay for now. I might move you later the more I get into this, but yeah, I think the Chomp is the same. These five are very similar in my opinion. I don't know why, but yeah, I think the Chomp is decent. Um, the critical damage isn't terrible, but you have to be really, really accurate with it. So, Disco Chomper, I think you're average. I don't think you're as hard hitting as obviously Armor Chomper, but this character's damage per bite is decent. And I think I'm gonna do the same with these two as well. I think these three Chompers compared to this is just my experience, by the way. I could be wrong. Some of you may switch these two around. Some of you may put this guy down here, but I'm viewing it from like a biting perspective. How much damage you do per bite with a chomper, how much I don't know damage you do over time with them, etc. I think these three are average. I think they're very nice pickups. They're not the most heavy hitting in my eyes. I still think out of all the chompers, the one that's going to deal you most damage when you bite enemies is this guy. With or without the damage upgrade, he's just a monster. So, yeah, I think Unicorn and Twilight are very similar in bite damage as well, and how OP they are. They're good. I think they're good. So I feel like that's a nice little spot for them right there in average. Iron Citron, I'm gonna. Do I include the legendary mode? If it's legendary mode, you can go straight up there. But in terms of normal, I'm gonna put you in average. Uh, Average or not? I don't know. Tell you what, I'll be nice. I'm gonna put you in incredible. Now, like I said, if we're talking about the legendary mode, the Iron Citron mode, or whatever you call it, it would be broken. I don't think anybody can disagree with me on that. It is ridiculously stupid on like I don't know Time Park, stuff like that. I think it's stupid and it's pretty OP. But in terms of normal no legendary mode, no nothing like that. I think he's incredible as it is. His health is OP. That's also another thing I could do. My bad. I could view it as different ways in this tier list. So in terms of his defense, his health, and how much damage he does up close, it's it's incredible in my opinion. Probably the most hard hitting Citron by a decent margin, I think. So I'm happy with where I put Iron Citron. Okay, so what we got next? We got all the sunflowers. Okay, Now this one's interesting because sunflowers are not damaging as it is, so I'm going to try and view these in a different perspective and say how good they are and how good they stack up against enemies, type of thing. So, I think in terms of okay, I'm going to get those two out of the way first. Reg and Power Flower, I think they're okay. I'll be honest, I don't have much experience playing with them. Very similar to some other characters I mentioned in the other tier list the other day. I've kind of just leveled them up and then never played them again. So, um, yeah, I think these two are okay. I'm gonna put Shadowflower in decent. Now, the only reason why I'm doing that is because the amount of ammo you get with this thing is good. It's decent. It's kind of OP. You get 50 bullets with this thing. You're just shooting forever, and then if you have the I think it's the ammo upgrade. I think you go to 60 bullets. I think so. In terms of how long you can shoot, this one is probably probably my favourite of how long you can shoot out of all the sunflowers. So I think you're better than these two. I'm gonna also put Fireflower. Now I don't play Fireflower. I pretty much say that about every sunflower at this point. But when I did play Fireflower, it was very interesting because a lot of people used her in Garden Warfare 1. She was good. A few people still use her in Garden Warfare 2, and from what I've seen, it's not bad. It's out of the like how do I say this? Out of the default, it's a good word. Default sunflowers, so power flower. It's the same thing with Reg P shooter, Ice P, and Fire P. These three, so Reg sunflower, power flower, and fire flower. I think out of them three, I would choose fire flower personally. She hits nice. The fire damage is obviously a bonus. And I've seen a few max ranks use her as well, so I might give her a go, another go. But no, decent character. I think it's fire damage for me is decent. There are some other characters. Now that I look at them, there are some other characters that I prefer the fire damage on. But no, I think yeah, I think they're decent. I think they're better than these two. But I think they're decent. No higher than that. Mystic. Ooh, I'm gonna put Mystic in average. Now, as much as I don't play that character, and personally, it's not a character I would like to play. From what I've heard, she is ridiculous sometimes. I wouldn't say broken level, maybe incredible, but I think average at the least. I think either average or above. But I think from my personal experience, I think she's average, if not maybe S minus. Low incredible tier because I don't know how this character works, but I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, you can charge up your bullet. So it's kind of like Plasma P and all those different characters. So if I remember correctly, you can charge up the bullet, and apparently it's good. Now, if you have good accuracy, this character can definitely be broken, or well, incredible if not broken. But from like a normal character, normal player, I think average is a nice spot for this character. If not anywhere above. Metal Petal. Now, this one's a bit different for me. I'm gonna view it from a defense standpoint. Okay, so instead of viewing it from how much damage you do, I'm gonna switch it around on this character and see how much damage she can take. In terms of defense, I think she's average. Now, again, I'm switching it around. If we're talking about damage, probably okay, if not decent. But in terms of defense, I think she's average. The defense on this character is by far the best one out of any sunflower. Um, it's very nice. Like I said the other day, you can survive an imp punt. You can survive most fights. If not, you can still lose that fight. Whoever you're against, so it could be a foot soldier, it could be an all star, whatever scientist. But this character can definitely survive a lot longer than the others. Now, in terms of defense and how OP it is, I think it's great. Like I said, by far, out of all the sunflowers, the most defensive one, and I think having that for a sunflower is nice because you like to get the revives, you like to get those extra points for healing extra XP for your healing beam or whatever. Whatever style you like to play Sunflower, if you like to play, you know, proper support where you continue to heal your people and your fellow teammates and you continuously revive them, this character is great fun. And I think in terms of OPness, in terms of defense, she's definitely average in my opinion. Sun Pharaoh, I think you're okay. Now, here's where earlier on I mentioned Popcorn. Now, I think Sun Pharaoh is better than Popcorn. So, believe it or not, I don't mind Sun Pharaoh. I think she, believe it or not, I think Sun Pharaoh was the first. Wait, yeah, yeah, the first sunflower that I maxed. Believe it or not, she was the first one I maxed out, and I did that a while back. Like this is way before I was anywhere near max rank. So, in terms of 3 round burst, obviously you guys know I'm a huge 3 round burst fan because obviously I play Super Commando a lot. She's better than Popscorn. Two completely different classes, obviously, but her damage isn't terrible. It's decent. You know, it will do damage. It will weaken them. It will nab you a few kills here and there. Could it be better? I think so, but as a whole, I think this character is decent. The damage is nice. The rate of fire is nice. You'll be dropping enemies decently, if not getting shared at vanquishes or assists at the least. And I think it's a decent character. I think it's pretty decent. So, Alien Flower, I'm gonna, as much as this character seems OP, I'm gonna put you in decent. Now don't get me wrong. I've definitely seen scenarios with Alien Flower where I don't know. You're in Zombopolis, okay? On Turf Takeover, you're playing Zombopolis. You are um, facing the giant robot at the end or something. This character can definitely wipe out or damage a lot of enemies with her Spore Mist. So basically, if you don't know what that is, Alien Flower shoots, and then the particle explodes into a little cloud of like glitter. I'd say a little cloud of glitter, and then that does damage to enemies over time. So I wouldn't say it's ridiculously OP, but I wouldn't say it's absolutely terrible. So it's in the middle for me. Again, same thing as Sunfaro. You can you can do better, I think. Vampire Flower, I'm gonna put you with these two, believe it or not. Now, this one I'm gonna view from a defensive standpoint as well. Now, instead of doing it all damage, I'm gonna try and do it as best as I can with all of these characters. Um, but yeah, I think in terms of how OP the character is as a whole, it's not just the amount of damage she does, or the amount of bullets she has, or whatever like that. But the fact that you can steal enemies' health with her on direct impact is pretty sweet. I think it's definitely one of the cooler gimmicks on probably the entire plant side. Not many characters can steal your health. I don't think any other character can actually. Um, no, I don't think there is a character that can do that. So that's pretty cool. If I was right there and she's the only character you can steal health with, that's pretty cool. But in terms of the character itself, I think it's average. It's not broken, but yeah, it was a nice little addition to the sunflowers. I think something that can zap your health, and I'm gonna put Stuffy Flower alongside you. I think these two are very similar. They're both healers in their own way, especially compared to the other sunflowers. All the others use the same methods. They're just more bullets or change the way they shoot or the way they move or whatever. But in terms of healing, these two are pretty broken. There we go. I was waiting for that to come out. But in terms of healing, I think these characters are probably the most broken healers on the plant side, hands down. If you know how to balance them out well, how to zap that health with Vampire Flower or get that health picked up with Stuffy, I think it's a great way of actually learning both those characters. So, who's up next? We have Party Citron. Okay. I don't know why all the Citrons are not together. By the way, I'm gonna say you're decent. I think you're definitely better than Reg and Ice Citron in my opinion. I think you're great fun, And I'm going to put Toxic Citron there as well. Now, Toxic Citron's a weird one. As much as, he does like 3, maybe 4 damage, it's very consistent. The amount of numbers, for example, you are on Seeds of Time, okay? On the first objective, the zombies are capturing and you're Toxic Citron. There's a bunch of them in there. I'll probably say about 3, 4 enemies inside the first capture point on Turf Takeover, Seeds of Time. So you're defending as Toxic Citron. You see a bunch of enemies inside the ring. This guy, the amount of damage you can do to a group of enemies is quite cool. Granted, most of the time you won't kill them because it's so low. But can I view it from that standpoint alone? So I tell you what, now that I think about it, I'll move you to okay. Now that I've thought about it a little bit more, this character's good fun. He can definitely do damage, but it's so low. If it was like, I don't know, maybe 6 damage, it would be good. It would be decent, if not average. But right now in 2022, the character not fantastic damage wise. I think he hits like 2, maybe 3 at times. So it's a bit of a weird one with Toxic Citron. Red Cactus, I'm gonna say you're incredible. Quite possibly, you know earlier when I said default characters, there is one in mind that is probably the most damaging. And Nick, I know you're watching this. I think I genuinely be honest here. I think out of all the default plant characters, probably the most damaging one. Along with its rate of fire and the fact that it's a sniper, it's very accurate. The damage is lovely. The rate of fire is nice. You know constantly getting those hits and stuff like that. And yeah, quite possibly, if not the best reg plant. Yeah. Now that I look at the rest of them, the best reg plant damage wise on the list in my opinion. So Reg Pea Shooter, Reg Sunflower, Reg Chomper. I think this is probably the best default character on the plants team. Anyway, Fire Cactus. I'm gonna put you in okay. Now, back in Garden Warfare 1, this character was great fun. Again, back in that game, variants, whether that be, I don't know, whether that be toxic damage, fire damage, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to talk about, whatever variant. This character was a lot of fun in Garden Warfare 1. Quite OP. Few people still play it, like every now and again. Whenever I log on, and by the way, if you're wondering why I keep stopping, it's because I need to yawn, but I don't want to. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very tired as well, so if I look a bit drowsy, I apologise. But yeah, fire cactus, I think you're okay. And ice cactus, you know where I'm putting you. You're putting, you know what? I'm gonna put you in almost unplayable. I can't stand this character. I don't think it's good. The gimmick is off. The damage, I don't like it. For ice character, even ice citron, Jade Chomper, ice pea, and not to mention ice rose or frost rose, quite possibly the worst ice character in the game, in my opinion. It just doesn't work for me. I never liked this character. The damage is not great. I don't think it's OP as anything. Whenever I see this thing, it's kind of like a free kill. I don't mean that horribly to anyone who loves Ice Cactus. It's just my opinion. I don't think it deserves, B or C tier. Maybe D at the least, or at the most, but yeah, either D or F tier for me. It's just not working. Power Cactus, I prefer Power Cactus. I'm gonna put you with Fire Cactus. I think you're both decent. Um, not the most hard hitting plants by any means. They're okay. Future Cactus broken. I I don't even need to talk about it. Let's be honest. You hit 100 damage. 100 damage. Yes, you heard that right. It's just stupid. I don't need to get into Future Cactus. You guys know why I put him there. Camo Cactus. I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna put you incredible. You're very similar to Wait, actually, no, wait a minute. Yeah, yeah. I think they're both Camo Cactus and Red Cactus are very similar. In terms of damage, I don't think there's much damage in between them. Actually, I think Camo does 45, maybe 50, and I think Reg does like 35, maybe 40. So it's like 15 damage, maybe 10 damage in between them. But I think they're both good. Um, in terms of like damage wise, they know what they're doing. They can get you kills. You just need to be accurate. So Bandit Cactus, I'm gonna put Bandit in decent. Believe it or not, I think Bandit is pretty good. I played her a lot, him or her, whatever it is. I played them a lot on Team Vanquish. Now, obviously, when it comes to Team Vanquish, it's smaller maps. This character's very close quarters. I'm just gonna have a quick sip of my water real quick. Mm, lovely. Stay hydrated. Keep on gaming. But what was I saying? Yeah. So in terms of Team Vanquish, this character's very close quarters. Now, damage at range. So for example, if you're I don't know playing Turf Takeover for some reason with this character, you're on Zombopolis again. Yeah, let's say Zombopolis. If you are on the second capture point where the disco lights are, and no, where the stairs are, a little underground part, and then there's like a little circle. You know where the bridge is on Domopolis, after the first checkpoint where the bridge is. If you're there with Bandit and someone else is all the way down the end of the bridge, you're not going to be doing great damage at range. So if you're playing it like that, I would probably put it bad, if not okay. But close range, this thing is decent in my opinion. You hit like I'll probably say 12, maybe 11 at most. And obviously it's an automatic cactus. It's a machine gun cactus. So I prefer to use this than Commando P. Believe it or not, maybe I might even put them both in the same tier later on. I don't know, but close range is decent. You will be doing damage. You will be hitting them quite hard, especially if it's an imp. This character for some reason is very decent at hip fire as well. So, definitely give future catchers, definitely give Bandit Cactus a go if you haven't. I'm gonna put Jade Cactus here as well. I think Jade Cactus is very nice. The splash damage is not too bad. It could be a bit bigger. In terms of how broken it is, it's not terrible. I think it does like 25, maybe 30. Depends how far away you are to them. And depends if you land in that critical hit spot. So, as a whole, I think Jade Cactus is decent. It's not broken. It's not almost unplayable. I think it's in the middle. So, there's not much to say about that character, to be fair. Zen Cactus, I'm gonna be honest. I think you're average. I like Zen. I tell you what, actually, I'm gonna switch these two around. I know, bit controversial. I actually prefer. Or do I? Oh, this one's a tough one. Now that I think about it. Ooh, ooh, I don't know. These two are very similar in damage, I would think. I don't know. I don't know what to do with them. I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Um, actually, you know what? No, we're gonna put you both there. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. I think these two are good. I think they're on the same level as Red Cactus. I think all three of these, apart from Future, these three are probably the most heavy hitting cactuses, in my opinion. You will be getting kills with them. You just need to be accurate. You need to land those shots. Whether you're 10 meters away, 100 meters away, 10 yards away, whatever it is, no matter how far away you are, you need to hit the shots well, and you will be getting some kills, especially with these two. The good thing about the red cactus, it has a decent amount of ammo, but decent fire rate, so you can afford to miss shots. Whereas these two are quite limited, a little bit slower. As long as you hit those shots, mate, you will be dropping some bodies. Petrified, I don't think you're as OP as Electro Pea Shooter. I tell you what, I'm gonna be Red Cactus down there. I think these three are better in my opinion. But yeah, I don't Petrify Cactus. I don't think you're as OP as Electro P. but you're definitely decent. You are hitting hard. The self detonation alone is just, oh, it just gives me nightmares, honestly. So, uh, yeah, I think that's a nice little spot for petrified. The splash damage, the detonation, the direct hit is nice as well. So Torchwood, ooh, I'm gonna put Torchwood in average. Now, don't get me wrong, I could easily put it in God tier, like up here, broken stuff like that, but I don't think he's terrible. The only thing that puts me down here for him is his main weapon. I think it's called the what is it? Wood trimmer, wood chipper. That's what it's called, wood chipper. I think the wood chipper. I don't use it a lot. I'll be honest with you. I'm more of a ability spamming Torchwood, but I'm pretty sure you guys already knew that. But what I'm saying is the wood chipper on this guy, in my opinion, maybe should hit a tiny bit more. I don't exactly know how good it is at range. The problem is with Torchwood for me, he's very minigun like. He's very scattershot. He doesn't have great accuracy, more hip fire than anything type of that. And it's in terms of abilities, I would put him in average. But I tell you what, if I'm purely focusing on his damage, I'm gonna put him down decent. Well, I'm in the middle of recording. Reg Rose. I'm going to put Reg Rose. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, sorry about that. Flipping people, man. What was I talking about? Yeah, Reg Rose. I'm gonna put you down in here. Same as Party Rose for me. It's not great. It doesn't hit hard. Um, the only annoying. I feel like Rose is more annoying on this game than OP in terms of like these two. Maybe Necros and Frost Rose, maybe Druid Rose are a little bit of a different story. But in terms of like normal hitting, I don't think Red Rose is terrible. I'm gonna put Fire Rose as okay. I think Fire Rose is definitely better than them two in terms of damage. I'm gonna put Druid Rose. I don't think they're as OP. I put Druid Rose as decent. Druid Rose is in my opinion actually one of the more decent toxic characters in the game. Um, believe it or not, you're better than Toxic Citron and Toxic Chomper, stuff like that. I feel like you're on the same level, if not a little bit higher than Toxic P. But there's one toxic character I'm not going to talk about yet because we're getting up to him. So that's all the plants done. Not too bad. Reg Imp. Oh boy. Okay, what am I going to do with this guy? Not. I'm going to put you in. Okay, he's alright. He knows what he's doing. The health is a little bit on the low side sometimes, but I'm not gonna lie. In terms of movement, this thing is OP. I'll probably put him up in average in terms of doing the back flips and the front flips and all that. But no, not terrible. Not too bad. I'm gonna put Electro's brains in bad tier. Reason why I spoke about it the other day. This character he hits fast, but the damage is just not there for me. This guy, get your fat ass up there. And where's the other one? Where is he? There he is. This guy as well. These two can sod off. I don't need to talk about them. We all know why they're there. We all know why they're broken. End of story. And if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments. Breakfast Brain, I'm gonna put you in decent. He's not. I prefer him to Electro Brains, and I tell you what, I'm also gonna put Reg Super Brains in okay tier. I prefer Breakfast Brains to Reg Brains, but I prefer Red Brains to Electro Brains, believe it or not. So Breakfast Brains isn't too bad. He's decent. His I'll probably say slaps per second is actually pretty alright. Damage wise, it's not terrible, but it's not gonna drain your health instantly anyway. So it's alright. Party Brains, I can put it in average. You're not as OP as these two, I don't think, but you're definitely the probably say the third counterpart of the trio. Compared to the other Super Brains, I think you're definitely the third best. My first is I don't know who my first favorite out of these two are. I like them both, but the third one is definitely Party Brains. So okay, so we've got some pirates here. I'm gonna go backwards this time, make it a little bit different. Captain Squawk, I'm gonna put average. This guy does hit hard. Oh god, this guy hits hard in my opinion. Um, it's actually pretty alright. Wait, what was this video? I don't want to watch that. Flip off. Um, yeah, I think this character. Where is he? Yeah, Captain Squawk is what, like 46, 47 damage plus toxic. It's pretty good. No matter what range you're at, really. The flamethrower, a little bit of a letdown, so I'll probably put him down there because of that. But in terms of actual like long range drop damage stuff like that, he's definitely one of the most hard hitting pirates in my opinion. Shark bite, I'm gonna put in decent. I don't think he's as OP as Captain Squawk in terms of damage. He definitely has a better secondary. You know, when you hip fire, I think he has a better hip fire than Captain Squawk. But in terms of like long range, he's decent. I think he does like 29, 28, maybe 30. So it's pretty good. I'm gonna put Reg Deadbeard and Pike Deadbeard in there. It's very recurring pattern here. The only default character I don't have in there so far is Reg Corn, Reg Cactus, Reg Rose, and Reg Chomper. Every other one is Reg. So Reg Citron, Pea Shooter, Sunflower, and Deadbeard, and Imp, and Brains. So yeah, I think these two are very similar. They're not crazy OP. Back in the day, I would have probably put um, Reg Deadbeard in average, but because I've played others and I've seen how others use him, I think he's down here in okay. You know, they're okay. They're not an immediate threat. You can get away from them relatively easy. Captain Cannon, not as OP as I will remember, but I think you're incredible. I don't think you're as good as Electro P, but I think you're on the same level as Petrified. In the right hands, these two can be played very, very, very well. And Electro P is just well, Electro P. Um, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna put Flame Face with Shark Bite. I feel like they're both a little bit similar in terms of damage. I don't think one's better than the other. I do like them both. I prefer Flame Face because obviously the fire damage, but if I didn't have Flame Face and I fancy playing someone decent, I'll probably use Shark Bite. So I think I've done a decent little matchup right there. Little Drake Imp. I think you're decent. I'm going to put Pylon in okay. Now, let me explain. I prefer Drake to Imp, Pylon Imp. So, Drake with the fire damage, the rate of fire is nice. How close you can get to enemies and how quickly you can do damage to them is quite alright, to be fair. It's not incredibly OP. It's not terribly, um, going to let you down, but um, yeah, nice rate of fire, nice damage all round. Very close quarters. So if you're right in front of a plant, pea shooter, chomper, whatever, sunflower, this thing can drain you quite quick, especially with the bonus, little bit of fire damage in there. Could definitely zap your health. Just keep an eye on it. Pylon imp, he's okay. I prefer. I'm gonna put Reg Imp up here in OK tier, and Reg Imp, flip's sake, Reg Imp up here in the OK tier, and Pylon Imp up down there in OK tier. I prefer Reg Imp to Pylon personally, but yeah, Pylon's alright. He's not terrible. He does do damage, but it's very inconsistent. It reminds me a little bit of Popscorn. It's just not consistent with the damage, in my opinion. I don't think personally I Yeah, I don't know. Pylon Imp's just very weird in terms of damage, in my opinion. Reg Soldier, I'm gonna put you in. I'm gonna put you in average. Actually, I played you recently. He does like 10 damage per bullet. Um, I think it's pretty good, and the amount of ammo you get with it as well is it definitely backs that up. So if you add the amount of ammo you have, 10 damage per bullet, it is pretty scary sometimes. Especially if you can land all the shots and you can just beam them from up close, medium, long range, whatever. This guy can definitely cause some trouble. Uh, Super Commando. I'm not being biased here. I'm actually gonna put you incredible. Now, don't get me wrong. I love this character. I know. I put I the only character I've put is Plasma P up and Broken. These Commando Corn and Commander, Super Commando are very similar. As much as they're great, they have their faults. They have their problems, and unlike Commander Corn with the splash damage, this guy has no splash damage. I don't mind that, but the only reason why I'm putting him here is because he's not the same Super Commando I once loved. Now, if he still had, again, I always bang on about this, but it was a game changer. If he still had the extra bullet he did in Garden Warfare 1, he would be straight up there, straight away. But because he doesn't, and he's a little bit let down by that, I think he's incredible. Either way, not much to talk about there. I wish I could put him in SS here, but I've got to be realistic. So I'm gonna get some of the obvious ones out of the way here. I'm gonna put Camera Ranger in decent, nice little camping spot. You can hit, I'll probably say 20s, maybe 25s. The rate of fire is nice. The recoil is a little bit jumpy. Um, your gun will be sitting there doing that. So just bear in mind with that character. I'm gonna put Arctic Trooper in okay. I feel like he's a little bit. I prefer Reg Soldier than I do Arctic Trooper, believe it or not. I don't know if that's weird. Let me know in the comments if it is, but I don't know. His character isn't as OP as I thought he would be. He was decent tier in Garden Warfare 1, but I don't know. In Garden Warfare 2, just seems a little bit off. Maybe it's because I played other foot soldiers that are better. I don't know. Tank Commander. Oh boy. I'm gonna put you in average. I don't think you're as good as Super Commander, but you're definitely a threat. This guy can drop you relatively quick. Very hip fire base. You barely see anybody aiming with this guy. You're always jumping around close quarters with a plant, whether that's a pea shooter pogo peeing, whether that's a chomper trying to goop you and get behind you, whatever. This character will slap you in the face if it's on a good day, and I can't quite remember how much damage he does, but I think it's like 55, maybe 60. I don't play a lot of Tank Commander, so please let me know if that's wrong. But as far as I remember, this guy does hit hard. It's just a little bit annoying that he only has one bullet. So he's if he had two bullets, then probably it's broken. But um, it's either average or broken for me. So yeah, I think he goes well with Red Foot Soldier there. Jade Supremo. Tell you what, I'm gonna put you down in okay. I expected more from this character. Like I said countless of times, infinite ammo. The accuracy is not fantastic. You're very all over the place. You're like hitting every single one of these apart from fire. Like for example, you're aiming at fire catchers here. You're hitting everybody else around it apart from that character. So yeah, Jealous Supremo, okay. I expected a lot more. To be fair, I'll be honest with you. Sky Trooper, I actually prefer Sky Trooper to these two. I don't know if that's weird. The amount of damage you can do per second with this guy is crazy. He's decent. He's not the most hard hitting foot soldier in the game, by any means. But if you have, the patience to deal with how many times you reload with this guy, um, he's actually pretty decent, and I prefer him to Arctic Trooper and Genesis Primo. That might be a very weird one for some of you because I know a lot of people love this guy down here. Arctic Trooper. Not a lot of you love him. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Centurion, I'm going to put you okay. I actually thought you was a lot better back when the game first came out, obviously. I don't know if they ever nerfed you, but you definitely don't feel the same as you once did. So, yeah, for a fire character and a foot soldier for that matter, a little bit let down, I'll be honest with you. not as good as I was hoping. Park Ranger, I'm going to put you up here in decent tier. He's decent. He's similar to Alien Flower in terms of the particles. This guy shoots and it turns into like little green clouds or something, and that does do damage. And in terms of like hitting through people, hitting people through walls, it's actually a lot of fun as well. So yeah, he's decent. The damage is on a little bit low side, but the it's a nice little gimmick that you can shoot through walls. So definitely give this character a try if you haven't already. Scuba Soldier, I personally don't think you're as good as. I'll put you in average, but you're beneath. Yeah, I'll put you up here. I prefer Tank Commander damage wise than I do to Scuba. So believe it or not, as much as I play Scuba than I do Tank Commander, whenever I do play Tank, I feel like I'm hitting similar damage to Scuba, but I feel like it actually does make a difference. Because the problem is, as much as I love two bullets with Scuba, sometimes there's a tiny, tiny pause in between reloading that next round. So he shoots, reloads, shoots the next one, then reloads properly. Whereas Tank, he's like bang, reload, bang, reload, bang. It's a lot more consistent. It's a lot more damage. Um, in that short space of time. I think that like base damage wise, I think Scuba and Tank are very similar. So yeah, I think they both deserve the same tier, but base damage wise, I would prefer to use Tank. But personal wise, I would prefer to use Scuba. Very interesting conversation there about those two. Okay, so we're slowly getting there. Let's whack a few of these out of the park here. AC Perry, you're straight down here. Almost unplayable for me. You're not OP, mate. I don't think you're good. Reg Engineer, I'm gonna put in okay. Reg All Star, I'm gonna put Reg All Star in decent. Yeah, I think Reg All Star is decent. I'm not gonna talk about Reg Engineer or AC Superior. You guys know why I put them there. But Reg All Star is an interesting one. Back in Garden Warfare 1, he used to be pretty good. I would probably put him in average tier. But he's similar to the likes of Colonel Corn, in my opinion, just the tankier slash zombie version of Colonel Corn. He will get you kills, the rate of fire is lovely, the damage isn't actually that bad for a default character. Again, default characters in this game will surprise you, I promise you. So, yeah, I think All Star sits comfortably there in decent tier. Welder, for a fire character, okay. I'm gonna put you in decent. I was expecting more. I'll be honest with you. I played you recently. I think it was like yesterday or the day before I played you. I was expecting more for a fire engineer. I'll be honest with you. Um, yeah, I don't know. You're a little bit underpowered in my opinion. So I'm gonna put you in decent tier. Electrician. Believe it or not, as much as I hate this character, I'm gonna put this guy in top decent tier. Now, this guy's damage is actually pretty good. I think it's like 35, maybe 40. If you're lucky, close to 45, I think, as well. So, reload speed, obviously, straight down to okay. But in terms of damage wise, this guy is actually one of the better engineers to use for hitting enemies. Um, in my opinion. No, not average. Decent. Wait, yeah, actually no, yeah, average. I'll put you up on average. I think your damage is good. The only reason why you're up there is because of damage. It's actually not too bad for an engineer. Um, but any other reason apart from damage is straight down here. So you're only up there because of your damage. Mechanic, I'm gonna put you in incredible. I love this character, and believe it or not, I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna put Painter with Electrician. Now, these two are very similar in damage. I prefer Mechanic over these two. I think Mechanic's beautiful. It's an automatic engineer. It hits like 12, 13 up close. The rate of fire can back that up. It's nice and consistent. You're hitting damage pretty much every day of the week. So I think in terms of damage, I'm saying that word a lot. Mechanic is one of my preferred um, engineers to use. Not necessarily because he's hitting like 30s and 40s, but because he's hitting 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. It's pretty decent. So, Painter, I don't think there's much explaining to do with him. He's very similar, in my opinion, damage wise, compared to Electrician. They're both very similar in that perspective. I think Plumber and Landscaper are going to go there as well. Engineers are not terrible. They do hit kind of hard if you know how to play them. Plumber's splash damage is nice, so I'm going to put you top 8 here, and then these three underneath. But yeah, I think these three complement each other. They're very similar in damage wise, in my opinion, of what I can see. So the only reason why Plumber is above Landscaper, Sanitation Expert, and Electrician is because of splash damage. The splash damage is beautiful in that card. So Sanitation Expert, I'm going to put you, believe it or not, I'm going to put you with Plumber. I feel like you're very similar. You don't have splash damage, I don't think. You're very direct hit. I think he does like 40 something damage as well, which is nice. The only problem I have with this character is the arc, like I mentioned in the other tier video the other day. But in terms of damage output, nice character, not too bad. Rody Z, I'm. I'll tell you what. I'm going to include the exploit for this. I'm going to put you in broken with the exploit, okay? With the glitch, exploit, the hack, whatever you want to call it. It's not a hack, but with the little trigger thing, this guy's broken. I don't need to explain it. You guys have been killed by this thing several times. If we're not talking about the exploit, you're straight down to bad. But well, I'm gonna include the exploit on this tier list. So I reckon you're broken, mate. He's stupid. He can block you. He can stop your character from moving, and your screen goes all weird. It's just a bunch of nonsense whenever people spam the trigger with him. So, Shrimp, I don't mind Shrimp. I'm gonna put you in decent. He's nice little damage. I reckon he's the same. Where is he? There he is. I reckon he's the same as Drake. Definitely one of the better imps to use in terms of baseline damage and stuff like that. I would prefer to use Shrimp um, compared to Drake, actually. I prefer Shrimp to Drake. And I prefer Shrimp to Regimp and Pylon. I think Shrimp is quite arguably, compared to, these two are probably on the same level. So I'm going to put both of you on the same level again. But in terms of, like, personal preference, I prefer Shrimp than Drake. He hits nicely, the damage is nice, the rate of fire is beautiful. I reckon he's decent. He's not incredibly OP, but he's alright. Scientist. Sorry, Marine Biologist, get to you in a minute. Marine Biologist, it will be there in a second. Scientist is incredible. It's not broken, but the damage you do up close is just stupid. For a default character, this thing slaps hard, bro. I think, if I remember correctly, I don't know if it was with the damage upgrade, but in terms of character itself, with or without the upgrade, this character does what, 60, 65, maybe 70 with the damage upgrade. It's just stupid. This guy has no reason to be up here because of the default character, but because how much damage you do, and because of that crazy, crazy hairstyle, you are going in incredible tier. You're ridiculous. Marine Biologist, I'm going to say you're high decent tier. Um, Not hard hitting. He does like 40 something. It could be better. I reckon if it was definitely 50, I would put you in average, but because you're on a little bit of a mid 40, maybe low 40 damage side of things, I'm going to sit you in decent here. Very fun characters to use, preferably one of my favourite scientists, believe it or not. I've always liked Moon Biologist, so an interesting pick there. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put Dr. Toxic with you, and Archaeologist can go bottom decent. I feel like these three are very similar. These two up here, Moon Biologist and Dr. Toxic, are very similar in terms of damage. They both hit around the 40 mark. Archaeologist is a little bit lower, I think. Um, but yeah, those three characters are similar in stat wise, in my opinion. Physicist, apparently this guy slaps. Now, I'm not going to go off this because I hate him. I'm going off of what I've heard in the comments. I'm going to put you next to Archaeologist. Okay, I hate Physicist. You guys know I do. I just don't like him. But from what I've seen in the comment section before and recently from you guys, is apparently this character's not too bad. He doesn't hit as hard as Doctor Toxic, but he's decent. I think he does like 35, maybe low 40. So if you guys are right, Physicist, you're in decent tier, my man. Uh, Party Imp, I've just skipped past a load of them there, but I will get to that in a minute. Party Imp, where are the others at? Shrimp Imp is there. I think I prefer. I'm gonna put you mid, decent tier. I prefer him to Reg, but I don't. I don't know. These three are very similar. I'm gonna put you with the Shrimp Imp and Drake. I think. So let's do that. These three are very nice to use. We'll get to the OP imps in a minute, but baseline characters, I think these three are very nice. I mean, to be fair, obviously, Party Imp's not really a baseline character. You kind of get these two out of packs and him out of Infinity packs or whatever it is. But if you don't have the other two characters that we can talk about in a minute, use one of these three, in my opinion. Astronaut, oh boy. This guy, I'm going to put you in Incredible. Now, this is an interesting one. This guy has 25 bullets. I've explained this all before, but I'm going to say it again. 25 bullets, does like 20 to 25 damage at long range. Close range, your rate of fire is going to win you most fights. The range on this guy is incredible. It's just stupid. I feel like you're on the same tier as scientists. Reg scientists purely because of the amount of damage he does, but astronaut as a whole. So the range, the reload speed, the damage from range, the damage up close, the rate of fire, the reload, and all that. Whatever I said, reload twice, but this character as a whole, everything about astronaut is OP in my opinion. It's just too many bullets. Um, quite OP in terms of damage. It's stupid. Chemist, oh boy. You know exactly where I'm putting this guy. You, my friend, are going average. I prefer you, damage-wise, to Marine Biologist, Physicist, Doctor Toxic, and Archaeologist, but I don't think you're better than these two. Like, once upon a time, this character was great. Don't get me wrong, I love Chemist, but I actually, now that I think about it, I think Reg Scientist hits more than this guy, so, wait, what have I done? There he is. Yeah, I think Reg Scientist hits more than Chemist, so that's a very interesting choice right there. I might switch it around. I don't know. Paleontologist, as much as I love this guy, I'm gonna put you with Chemist. I think. You're average. You're good. You know your way around the block. You can hit a character here and there. The fire damage is beautiful. Up close, you're definitely top A tier at least. Up close, this guy does like 45, 50 damage plus fire damage. It's nowhere near as. Oh, flip off. There you go. Nowhere near as Reg Scientist, I don't think. I think Reg Scientist does like 55, 60, maybe plus. This guy does like 45 at most. But as a whole, it's very similar to Astronaut, but basically a fire edition of Astronaut. I prefer this guy over Chemist and the likes of these other four down here. So, yeah, Paleontologist, top average tier, in my opinion. Zoologist, I'm going to put you uh, with Chemist. Very similar damage wise. Obviously, this character is a lot more quicker at shooting than Chemist. Chemist is a little bit more slow. This character is just bang, 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 bang. Um, so definitely, it's basically Chemist with quicker rate of fire but less damage. If he had the same amount of damage, if not more, quite possibly could be in Incredible tier. But because he doesn't, you're gonna be with Chemist. You're Chemist, but you have less damage. You've just got quicker rate of fire, basically. Computer scientist. I'm going to talk about the legendary mode here for a second. I'm going to put you up there. Now, in terms of normal damage, it's not terrible. With the legendary mode, I'd put him incredible. So I tell you what, I'm going to put you next to paleontologist. I think that's a nice little spot right there for you. Um, Obviously, with the legendary mode, you would be incredible. Maybe low broken tier, but no, I think that's a nice spot with paleontologist there for computer scientists. Z7, it's not crazy OP. If you know how to shoot, it's good. So I'm going to put you incredible. If you know how to aim with this guy and trigger finger, it's similar to Lorpy. You need accuracy, you need to know how to trigger finger. You will unlock the secret to that character. It's the same thing with Z7. If you have accuracy, if you have the trigger finger, you will learn what this character can do. By far, one of the cooler imps, in my opinion. Definitely a lot of fun to play. It takes a little bit getting used to because obviously he's single bullet, but a lot of fun. I think it's great. And I'll tell you what, my main man Scally, I'm gonna put you with him. I like these two, and I'm putting these two OP is because of this guy has a lot of ammo for him, by the way, and he's his I think he hits like 35s, 36s, and it's quite consistent. It's like 35, 32, 11, 12, 13, 40, whatever. This guy's consistency with damage is not too bad. It reminds me of Commando. Both of their damage is a bit all over the place, but it hits hard. G7's guaranteed decent damage, but it's a little bit slow rate of fire because it's single bullet. Okie dokie. Hovergo, I'm gonna put decent tier. I prefer Torchwood. Torchwood's in mid decent tier. Hovergo's low decent tier. I don't think this guy hits hard at all. Mega Hillbee, well, what did I just say? Mega Beam would probably put you next to Torchwood, maybe higher, but in terms of baseline, I think you sit nicely and decent. Okay, to wrap it up here, we have some All Stars. Now, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to be honest here. Straight away, Rugby Star, you're going in average. This guy slaps. This guy slaps. Now, as much as I kind of ruined him the other day in my other tier list in terms of other statistics, in terms of damage and how OP he is, this guy is one of the more hard hitting all stars by far. It is pretty incredible what this character can do. The only problem I don't like about him is how quick his gun can run out of overcharge, and how quick, obviously, um, he can shoot. It's not very quick at all. But in terms of damage wise, just look out for him. I'm telling you. Cricket Star. I'm gonna put you in top decent. You're not terrible. The rate of fire, the amount of damage you can do per second with the fire damage is decent. I don't think you're OP. I don't think it needs to be nerfed. Hello, EP. But obviously it's an all-star. Not much can be said about him, but the fire damage and the rate of fire is nice. I think he hits what, threes, maybe fours, and maybe a little bit higher. I tell you what, I haven't played much Cricket Star, so I wouldn't really know. I'm gonna put Goldie Star with. I'm gonna put. I tell you what, I'm gonna put Reg All Star top decent, Cricket Star mid, and then Goldie Star at the bottom. I think that's a nice little switcheroo there. I prefer damage wise Reg All Star to both of these. But as a character as a whole, I would prefer Goldie Star to Cricket Star. I don't. Out of these three, I prefer Reg All Star. I'll be honest with you. I think he's great, and the damage isn't too bad for a default character. Now that I think about it. Baseball Star. I think it's similar to cricket. Personally, nothing crazy there. Obviously, he has no variant, so there's no bonus damage involved. Nothing like that. Obviously, we're not talking about abilities either. So, in terms of normal damage, I think he hits maybe fours, which isn't too bad. You're decent. You're mid decent. You're not. You don't need a nerf. You don't need to be buffed. I think you're fine the way you are. Sit your spot. Sit your spot. There we go. Nice and comfortably in mid decent tier. Hockey Star. As much as I love this guy, I'm gonna put you with Reg All Star. He doesn't hit as hard as Rugby, but his damage per second is nuts. I'm pretty sure, like I said before, this guy has the quickest rate of fire out of all of the All Stars, which is kind of interesting. Um, but in terms of baseline damage, he's not most damaging. I think he hits like fours, maybe fives, if you're lucky. But damage per second, this is your All Star. Wrestling Star. I'll tell you what, yeah. As much as I hate this character, I'm gonna put you with Rugby. I know. I don't like either of these characters. I'll be honest. I prefer Rugby to Wrestling Star any day. I believe it or not, yeah. I think Rugby quite possibly could be one of the least favorite All Stars. I do have others that I don't like. Um, Probably baseball and cricket, but in terms of damage, this guy actually slaps. It reminds me a lot of Rugby. You have to be up close in order to do damage, and if you're not, if you're trying to shoot them at long range, it's not great. Believe it or not, I think Rugby is actually decent at long range. He's okay. But Rugby Star is my preferred All Star out of the two. But in terms of damage, like I said, once again, Wrestling Star. I think you're not too bad as far as I remember. I think he does hit kind of hard, especially at that point blank range. Golf Star, I'll be honest with you, bro. As much as your quick fire rate, you're going to go down here with Goldie Star, in my opinion. Yeah, I think Golf Star doesn't hit as much as I hoped. Um, yeah, I don't know. Now that I think about it, him and Hockey Star have. The reason why I prefer Hockey Star than Golf is because this guy hits a little bit more damage than Golf. I don't think that's true, but I prefer to think that it is. I think Hockey Star is better than Golf, and I don't know. Golf Star for me doesn't hit as much as I hoped. For someone who shoots so quick, this guy shoots quick, like next level quick, and to see that he hits threes, maybe four, isn't the best for me. Don't get me wrong, if it was like five or six, then it would just be ridiculously OP. He'll be more than likely up here with these two, but because obviously he's hitting like threes, fours, probably twos at long range, he's just not going to get much done. Motocross, I prefer to put him up there, but I'm going to put you low B tier with Tennis Star. These two, in my opinion, I'm going to put these. Wait, where is it? There you go. I'm going to put these three. Oh, for flip's sake. Keeps moving my characters. 1 second. There you go. Yeah, so these three All Stars. You know what? No, these four All Stars are at the bottom for me. I don't think they're as good as each other. I prefer the likes of cricket, baseball, reg, hockey, wrestling, and rugby compared to motocross, tennis. I tell you what, tennis is not bad, so I'm gonna move it up there. But in terms of like the other four down here, no, the other three, my bad. Yeah, I think motocross is cool, but he doesn't hit enough. He's not OP. He doesn't need to be nerfed, in my opinion. He doesn't turn into a threat when running to one, unless they use an imp pump, which they more than likely will do because there's an all star. But no, there we go. In terms of OP and how broken the characters are, um, I think I've not done too bad, to be honest with you. I think I've labelled it out quite nicely. We've got a nice little spread across all of the different categories. Here is our broken. We've got broken tier list here. We've got the particle and plasma, electro, future, toxic, cosmic, and rhodey Z. I think that's probably the most solid SS broken tier lineup I've ever done. So I think I've labelled it out quite nicely. In terms of being biased, I haven't really. I could easily put Commando Corner Super Commando up there, but in terms of I've got to be realistic about it. I think they're both incredible, but I don't think they deserve broken personally. But in terms of the rest of the board, I think I've labelled it out nice. We've got some nice little additions in there, the likes of Party Citron, we've got Welder, we've got Shrimp, we've got Toxic Citron, we've got Electro Citron at the bottom. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you want to see more, and let me know, like I said, if you guys want me to rate their default customizations and what they look like without any clothes. No, that sounds weird. Without any customization options on, let me know if you want me to do a tier list basing all of the characters off of that. So I hope you guys did enjoy this OP tier list. If you did, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, and let me know if you want to see more videos like this. Ow, I just whacked my hand. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this in the future, and subscribe, turn notification bell on, and stay hydrated. Keep on gaming. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.